Welcome to Ghana Wellness Tour. I am your host, and I am hosting with my sister, Queen Esther, who is right in Ghana, West Africa right now. And this wellness tour is brought to you by Tahuti Films. Welcome to Tahuti Films.
Welcome.
And, and the Brit Zone. Please share with our family about our tour that's coming up very shortly.
Yes, thank you for joining everyone. Greetings, family. I am Akmarit,
And my name is Brother Seed.
and we are with Tahuti Films, and we are bringing you this glorious trip of empowerment and healing. And we want everybody to make sure they have all the details to come join us because this is going to be a collective that's coming together to identify with our ancient roots and contribute to our legacy.
Yes, and put a pin. We're about to take the journey. We're going to be taking the tour from to Ghana West Africa from November 1st to the 12th. It's going to be so transformative. And so we're going to go over the four major regions in Ghana that we'll be traveling through. So, Tutti Films family, please share with us where we're going to be doing, where we're going to be going, and what we're going to be doing when we get there. We're so thrilled.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be traveling from JFK to Accra. When we land in Accra, the first region, which is a greater Accra region.
Mhm.
We'll be there for about 2 days, and then we travel to the central region, which is the Cape Coast. We'll be there for about 2 days as well. Then we'll travel to the eastern region.
Where's the money?
Going to be doing a variety of different things there. Once you book, we'll be sending you your itinerary, your full itinerary. Then from there, we're going to be going back to Greater Accra, and then finally going to the Volta region. After we visit the Volta region, then we will also be going back to Greater Accra to exit the way that we came into the country. Um, Accra is very big. There are a lot of different things to see there. There are markets. There's historical sites.
Yes.
We'll be doing putting our name on an ancestral wall to
Mm.
commemorate our ancestors. That was something that we did when we traveled there recently with a smaller.
Yes, yes. Let me say something about that. It feels so wonderful. I think about Marcus Garvey. He wanted to be there. That's what the whole Black Star Line was all about, bringing us back home. Well, when I was able to put my plaque up for my father, Ethan Robinson, who was a Garveyite, I just said, Daddy, you're here. You made it through me. And that was so wonderful. And all those who traveled, we traveled out in March. It was nine of us. So we basically surveyed everything and got everything ready for you. So that was really very empowering. And it felt like there was a knitting of the family, that we repaginated, we strengthened ourselves back into our homeland. So everyone will get an opportunity to do that as well. Mhm.
One of the things that we want to make sure is that we communicate that we are going to West Africa. A lot of us have traveled to North Africa, and this is really a coming home. West Africa is on the coast. It's very warm. It's humid. It feels like the islands. People are very warm and welcoming.
Yeah.
Uh, Food is excellent. We'll be visiting some organic farms. We'll be confronting the transatlantic slave trade. We'll be going to some slave dungeons. We'll also be going to some waterfalls.
I look forward to that. So you're gonna be able to wash away all that heaviness and disease, and it is a wellness tour.
Mhm.
So we're actually going to experience a community bath together through that purified water. It's going to heal us. Get
An
back.
active live waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be taking a hike to
Yeah.
the waterfall, so that way we can, take in the experience as a group. And I think that that's something that we need to start doing again. We've kind of been, how would you say, inside for quite some time, and it's time that we get out. It's time that we start interacting with each other and spending time with each other versus just spending time with each other on devices, and building new relationships, right? Fortifying our relationships. This is
Yes.
part of the healing process that is the Queen of Afua experience, the wellness Ghana tour.
Right. This is
And
an
then,
opportunity.
Mhm.
go
It's an
ahead, go ahead. I was
opportunity
just
to
thinking about the food, and we're going to get a chance to go on the farm and have some of the food that's organically grown right from the soil without the pesticides. So that's also a part of our journey. Go right ahead, Ahmadi.
Yes, absolutely. What I was going to say is that this is an opportunity to experience firsthand, what it's like to connect with our African roots. Our ancestor Maya Angelou said, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you come from. So experiencing it firsthand and not having to read it from a textbook or having somebody else teach you your own history is definitely, a priority for us to connect with and go forward with strong to identify and be able to pass down the knowledge to our children and ourselves, So it's important for us to reconnect with our African roots and our brothers and sisters that are on the continent. And they're so welcoming. They want us to come back and return and see firsthand what exactly went down, what happened with our ancestors, and releasing that and healing for them is really, impeccable for us to do. It's our responsibility.
It really is. And you don't really know how much you've been carrying for 400 or 500 years of being stolen as a stolen people to return back.
Sure.
The door of return. That's what this is about. We're coming forward again to reclaim deeper our culture, our roots, and to, pour the libation. There will be a priest that will be there in those dungeons, and he'll be pouring libation for our ancestors, which is ourselves. And then we have return for our entire family. So if you may just even send a representative of your family and say, look, we all can't go together this time, but maybe one or two can go together to go to do this spiritual work, to begin to heal our families because we've been, broken and wounded. And so this is a major way that we can begin to reclaim and heal and overcome the tragedy that has happened to us and that separation. It's like our mother is calling us to come home and to reconnect. And so we're listening to the call. We want you to hear that call and be inspired to take it with us. As we heal ourselves, every day you're going to be getting, I'll be making sure we have tonics for you so you can every day cleanse the body. Tonics to repair the body. If those who suffer from any aches and pains, knit you with the clay. Take the breath of life, keeping the respiratory system healthy. So it's from day to day. So we'll have 12 days of healing. And that's going to be wonderful. 12 days of healing spiritually, physically, emotionally, holistically. Fantastic. And
Yes.
culturally.
Yes, like we said, like we mentioned before, this is a trip of empowerment, and we have broken down each day by day as we rise and wake up and we exercise and we get our bodies motivated to have this, trail and travel between all of us. I mean, we have planned everything of doing yoga in the morning, exercising, making sure we have our tonics, like you said, Queen, and getting prepared for the journey and have receiving all the knowledge that we need to go forward. You have also mentioned us having this wellness, give back. So we are definitely going with the intention of making a shift. It's so uncertain right now, this world, especially with global warming, and Ghana is making it their responsibility to give back and make sure that we counteract the imbalance that's happening. So we're planting over 500 million trees. And that's definitely a great step in shifting what's going on with the planet and giving back to it and being aware of what's happening in order to, counter that energy. So it's definitely a great push for us to do something about it and contribute.
Mhm. And we'll also be visiting the last bath. That is where we're going to be planting our seed at the last bath in Ghana. And our ancestors from here, throughout the diaspora, they will be represented. You'll see Marcus Garvey on the wall, and Sojourner Truth, and Malcolm and such. And so when that last bath, I did not, years ago. I went there to Ghana to the last bath, and I'm thinking it's a bath. Are we going to get a spiritual bath? Oh, that was after you've been stolen and they put the chains on you, and then you walk for days and days with this chain. And women are bleeding on their menses during that time, and the men are suffering, and you're being starved really. And when you get there, whipped all the way to the ship whipped all the way to the castle. But when you finally get to the last bath, that's when they wash us, or we get a chance to go into the water. Our ancestors did that. It was suffering, and then they would oil them down with palm oil, so that they would shine, and they would put them on a block. That's how we got the name block. They put them on a block for sale, and then some would be sold there. The others would continue to take it days up to the various castles, and they would then be there for 3, 4 months, a season, in the darkness, barely able to eat anything because food is thrown in a little open chute, no sunlight, and then come out and you drop to the bottomless pit. I find that everyone who's listening, you're all a miracle. Your family is a miracle that you survived and endured all of that. Some of us, Virgin Islands, some of us to the United States, and some of that just dropped off at the UK. And so we'll be traveling from those different zones together to take this trip to begin to our restoration, begin our healing, return to our beginning. So to have that strength to go through all of that and then return back to your foundation, to your mother. So let's do this together. So go ahead and register. Why don't you go ahead and register now? How do they register, please, to Hootie Films family?
So they will visit GhanaWellnessTour.com.
Yes.
That's the first step.
Okay.
Then the second step, what they want to do is register. On the top right-hand corner, there's a yellow bubble, and it says register. You go in there, and it's going to open you up to an intake form. That intake form is something that they fill out, and once they've completed the intake form, we will return them an email letting them know that we've reviewed it, and they can now go into Book Your Journey, which is another page within the website. Within that, you can decide what package you want to take. If you want to take the standard, the premium, the first class, for those people that are traveling international, for those people that are local, there's also a package for those that have gone through the Sacred Women's Rites of Passage or the Man Heal Thyself package. Once they decide that, they can put down a deposit to hold their space, or they can pay in full. If they want to do a deposit, then the option is there's a 6-week payment plan that's available for them. And that's, again, if they're traveling with us from the United States. There's different packages for those that are coming local, or those that are coming from the UK or from any other international area. Right now, there is no vaccine that's necessary for the trip. You will need to take a PCR COVID test, and we are arranging for a yellow fever card, so you will not have to take a yellow fever shot as well. So there are no shots necessary for this trip. It is a drama-free, fear-free trip. It is time to leave the block, like Queen says. So we're going to do a play on words outside of the auction block. It's time to leave your block. It's time to go outside of just taking the subway every day or being in your car. It's time to return home. It's time to put your feet on the soil. Some people may say, well, I don't need to do that. I'm Black enough. Well, there is no land of Black. We are African. So we need to return to Africa. The Chinese go to China, and people from India go to India, and so forth and so on. So we need to return and plant some seeds and know our identity as African people. We have been spread all over the globe and all over the earth. And yes, we are from this earth, and everywhere that we go, we flourish. But it is important to return back to the mother so that you can know who you are and know where you came from. It's very simple, it's very affordable, and it is being hosted by Queen Afua and Queen Esther, mothers. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to not only learn more about Ghana, because I've been there before, but also what is it like to live there? What is the property value? How much does it cost? What are my brothers and sisters doing there in business? Is not just a tourism trip. It is a wellness trip. So how do we become well? We become well by becoming wealthy in having
Yeah,
property,
get back here.
and knowing who we are. These are the things that we are going to offer you while we go on this trip. And it's right before, the winter season. It's November 1st through the 12th. Um, please
So you're
follow.
gonna and it's perfect because they're gonna drink in that supernatural sunlight and be strengthened, eating well, eating whole, so you're not gonna get sick over the winter. That's
Right.
not going to happen. You're not going to have, your immune system is not going to be challenged because you have charged up your immune system spiritually, emotionally, on every single level. So this is really a very powerful way to really do the healing work. I'll also be giving workshops myself and Queen Nessa. Queen Nessa will be giving an African dance workshop with some of those who are right on the land with the drumming and the dancing. And we're going to have a welcome. The dignitaries from Ghana will be welcoming us in, Ghana tourism. So it's going to be so beautiful. And I'll be giving a workshop that I have not taught too many before, based on the indwelling healer, waking up our ancient African self as healers and working with the way of our ancestors. So we are definitely here to support you on your quest and whatever issues that you're having beforehand. We're going to answer that, so there's not going to be any issues. So we can talk to you one on one. We can counsel your family. We can send out the preparation information so that the trip will be very dynamic for you, and we'll let you know the things that you should be bringing with you so that you will have what everything that you need to make this a very beautiful return home. And then it's like a tree, and it's very symbolic that when we came, Brother C, when we came in March, leading into April, we planted 9 trees
Yes.
right at the last bath. And then I think around June, it was around June that the government was so inspired. I think they planted a few million trees after that.
Yes.
We
Yes.
planted the seed, and because that's to make Ghana more green and for them to be a part of the green healing movement. And the tree is symbolic. If there's a tree that survives and thrives, it has to have a root. Without the root, the tree will perish. We have been lacking strong roots of our beginnings. So with this rooting in that we're going to do over these 12 days, we root in and watch how your life begins to blossom. And the parts of you that was wounded and broken from that chattel slavery will be now healed. We're going to heal those wounds so that from that strong root and us doing this together from around the globe, that you will flourish, that we will flourish as a people. Thank you. Again, how did they register? Go ahead and register now.
They're going to visit the GhanaWellnessTour.com. That'll be step one. Step two will be to complete the intake form in the registration. Uh, step uh, Step two. I'm sorry. Step two will be booking your journey, selecting from the 4 different travel packages. Step three will be making a commitment to the deposit on which package you selected. If you don't want to make a deposit, you can pay in full. Okay. And then step 4 is emailing us and contacting us. So that way we know that your booking arrangements have been solidified. If you have any additional questions, you can also email us. If for some reason you don't get in contact with us, just try us again, and we'll definitely find a way to either email you or call you. We will be hosting Zoom calls, 4 Zoom calls between now and the time of our departure for those that have already paid that need additional information about their itinerary. We're going to be going through the itinerary. We're going to be going through lodging and what you're going to be wearing, your attire, and probably doing a fast prior to your departure. So that way you're all geared up, you're ready to go. During that time period is the warmer months in Ghana. So you will be sweating. You will be detoxing whether you like it or not. So I would start your intake of water, at least a gallon a day if you're not already doing that. That way you can stay hydrated. We will be traveling and moving a lot. And I'm super excited. The education, the intake of information outside of the environment, like Queen said, you can actually make a difference as it pertains to global warming. So if they're saying that, the Amazon now has had so many trees cut down that, we've gone beyond the brink. Well, now there are some countries that have made it their initiative. So I want to give credit to the Ghanaian president and to the cabinet for making it a reality of planting these trees, so that way we're actively doing something about it versus just talking about it and not doing anything about it. This is one of our goals. It's an active initiative that we can do outside of visiting all of the sites and being educated and being in another country, the place of some of our origins. So Queen, I'm excited that you've put this together, that you're entrusting it with Anthony Bart from the Bridge Zone, and all of the other Ghanaian counterparts that we have there, all of our contemporaries, Amma the Goddess, Queen Esther. I'm very excited to be there again with the family, the extended family that was so warm and welcoming when we went there. To the Hebrew Israelite farm that we're also going to as well, and just solidifying relationships, because that's what we need to do. We need to stop complaining about the things that aren't happening, and we have to actively be a part of the things that we can control, right? That we can put into healing, which is healing ourselves.
Yes, I did want to mention that there is a 6-week payment plan that we have for some. We just want to make it flexible enough for most of us to sign up. So please, if you need a flexible payment plan, we have a 6-week available on the website, and don't hesitate to reach out and call us. We're flexible. We want to make sure that we make this transaction as easy and, just secure for you. So give us a call if you have any questions, any doubts. This is a collective, this is a movement. And it's in our hands to make a change. So that is our objective, just to make a shift, make a change as a collective, as a people.
Well said. Well spoken. So we'll see you all there. So let's get that registration. Trust yourself. Trust that the reason why you're on this call right now, this is an outreach, is because this is your time. Oftentimes we pray for a shift, a change. We pray for a healing, and then it shows up. I believe those who are on this call, it showed up today for you. So we're going to see you on this journey, and we're going to do it together and heal thyself. Thank you so much for trusting yourself and getting on the call immediately when we did the reach out. And so if any questions, if you're wondering how it's all going to show up, there's no question it's too small. Everything is important, and we will support you all the way to home, to a homeland. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give thanks. Baba.
Baba.